The future to come in 20 to 30 years. Can it be predicted in the times of global uncertainty? How to map out the contours of the future so that they are more clear and bright. And what can be done by those who are today called the next generation?
Watch in today's program. There are many professionals that our society needs. Master of Hyperrealism. Today, most young people want to become deputies or singers, but I put my efforts into art, which is not very developed here. Aydos Esmaganbetov is a sculptor-hyperrealist. He graduated from the Altynsarin Pedagogical Institute in the city of Arkalyk, Kostanay region. He is a makeup artist at the Astana Musical theater. Aydos is the winner of the project 100 New Faces of Kazakhstan.
Мен Kostanay облысы Arkalyk қаласының маңында Kaiyndy ауылында туып өстім. Кішкентай кезден бастап сурет саламын, ата-анам.
I was born and raised near the city of Arkalyk in the village of Kaiyndy, Kostanay region. I have been drawing since my childhood. My parents are good at painting too. There are 6 of us in the family, 3 guys and 3 girls. We all work in the field of art. When I was in the 8th grade, it was a year of the horse, and I made a symbol of the year, a horse, out of the snow. I was involved by creativity that I also made a figure of a foal. Everyone watched with interest the process, even the headmaster. That's when I realized that I was able to make sculptures, and I imagined myself an artist to be. After graduation, I wanted to study for a designer, but I did not gain enough points. I entered the Altynsarin Pedagogical Institute with a degree in fine arts and drawing. I do not regret at all that I received a diploma in this profession, since I studied everything as a designer, makeup artist, a sculptor as well.
Сол маған жақыны, ең жақыны. Енді ондай нәрсе біздің елде жоқ нәрсе болғаннан кейін, жоқ нәрсені дамытуға тырысасың ғой. Барынша шынайылы бейнелеу деген не ғой бұл жерде мағына.
My main work is related to waxworks made in hyperrealism style. This art is very close to me, since such an art is rare for our country. I try to develop it in every way. This style primarily involves a realistic image, although the wax figures do not fully comply with such a requirement. From a distance, they seem realistic, but at close range, they lose this characteristic. Hyperrealistic sculptures are made up of various details. Not every master is able to do such a delicate work. I studied this art independently. I read publications, found works of famous sculptors online, and explored how they had created their works of art. I experimented in every way. What if I did like this or that? Now I can say my technology is no worse than that of foreign masters. I worked as a restorer at the Military Historical Museum. In parallel, I began to practice this art since 2010. At that time, waxworks of Leonardo DiCaprio, Britney Spears, and Barack Obama were often shown. Then I thought, why should we watch these works only on TV? Our first president deserves this. To be honest, at the time of creation, I did not think about my popularity and especially about promotion. I just made a sculpture in recognition and gratitude to our president. If I would have had any selfish goals initially, then this work would not have been fully disclosed. I've put my soul into this creation. I wanted to clearly demonstrate that we can do such things. I made 2 wax figures of our president. I made the second one in 2012 by order of the Ministry of Defense. I also made a sculpture of Saghadat Nurmagomedov. You can see these both my works in the Military Historical Museum.
Мен бұл жерде тек қана сурет арқылы өмір көрген емеспін. Мысалы, елбасының бойын білген емеспін. Бізде интернетте, Google'да онша ондай ақпараттар.
I confess that I had not seen the president except the images in the paintings. I didn't even know how tall he was. We do not have such information on the internet. In other countries, such information is available. For example, Barack Obama's height is 187 centimeters and Putin's is 168 centimeters. But we can't find out how tall our president is. How did I get this information? I found a photo that shows the president and Barack Obama on the same line. So I calculated. In our work, the most important thing is to know a height. That are done using a divider. During this process, every millimeter is important. Otherwise, there will be errors.
Осы есептердің 1 миллиметр болса да қателік кетпеу. Келіп көріп жатады, есігімді қағып, осы звондап алдына. Айдос, саған келік деп еді, қазір мүсіндерін көрсетесіз бе?
Sometimes people come to me and watch me work. They call, knock on the door. Aydos, we want to look at you. Show us your work. I usually woke up till late at night. Yerlan Bikchurin, the arranger of Dimash Kudaibergenov, once called me, saying that a guest came from Russia and asking me to show my work. I invited him to come.
Фантастикалық. Сол маскалерді киіп көріп жатыр да, былай да түседі, былай да түседі, селфиға. Мәз болып кетті ғой.
The famous Australian hyperrealist Ron Mueck makes his works in gigantic proportions. I would also like to create such, but it takes a lot of silicone to make them, and it requires a lot of money. When I saw these works, I was amazed. There is another hyperrealist from Australia, St. James, as well as Evan Penny from Canada. And, of course, we must name the masters whose works are exhibited at Madame Tussauds Wax Museum.
Шабытты енді мен психологияда бар ғой, енді өзіңді 5 минут.
The close union of inspiration and psychology is important here. I tune into creativity for about 5 minutes. I specifically stay for the night in the workshop. I put my thoughts in order, get my inspiration from the music. Sometimes I go outside, breathe fresh air. At this time, different ideas come to me. A sketch project arises in my head. Not to forget it, I immediately draw it on a piece of paper.
Сондай сәттерде бір идеялар солай келеді өзі. Мен миымда уже еске тұрады. Сосын соны ұмытып қалмас үшін мен қағазға түсіріп қоюым керек. Мен былай программалар 3D моделирование.
When creating sketches, I use 3D modeling and ZBrush programs. And there, with the help of pixels, as if from clay, a sculpture is gradually created. A nose, a chin appear. You decrease something, increase something. You can look at it in a 3D dimension. Here you need to be patient. This is a very painstaking work that requires complete immersion, so you have to learn a lot.
Кропотливый жұмыстар көп. Соған ерінбей, жаңа берілу керек. Көп нәрселерді, нелерді оқу керек. Мен осыны алдында әскери тарихи музейде сол жерде мен
At the beginning, I worked in the restoration department of the Military Historical Museum. The sister of the director of this museum heads the Astana Musical Theater. She ordered me the scenery for one performance. After that, I received a proposal to work at the theater because creative people work there.
Бұл жерде көп шығармашылық өнердің адамдары. осында келдім, қызықты болды маған, ұнады. Мен бұл жерде гример болып қызмет атқарамын ғой. Оның сыртында
It was interesting to me. I work as a makeup artist here. In addition, I do props. For example, in the Aydos Musical, we created figures of Bektar, Timirkhan, Tausogar. Their figures should have looked as if they were made with stones. A headdress of Bektori had to look like the cap of Maleficent. I made the most complicated details of the costume.
Жасадым мен. Толық костюмдерді мен емес енді, бұл осындай бір қиындық нәрселер бар. Соларды мен жасап шығардым.
Senin atın adam. Senin atın adam.
Сосын Notre-Dame de Paris.
Later, I took part in the Notre-Dame de Paris musical. There are 7 solists. I did makeup and created images for all solists, including the performers of the roles of Esmeralda, Quasimodo, Frollo, and Gringoire.
Образдарды жасап шықтым. Франшиза шетелдің нелеріне олар қалай жасалынады екен? Notre-Dame de Paris.
How is a franchise performance done? As for Notre-Dame de Paris, we worked together with authors and directors from abroad. They came from France and watched how the images of Frollo and Quasimodo were being made. One day was dedicated to an experiment. They just watched that we would not change anything, not deviate from their plan.
Экспериментный жаңағыдай. Қарайды, мына жерін бұлай өзгертуге болмайды. Musical театрында кеше ғана бітті осы премьера.
Recently, our theater hosted the premiere of the performance named Shanirak. I and my assistant makeup artist made beards for the heroes. We started this work with the weaving process. It was a painstaking work because we had to weave a mesh into the beard. Before that, we consulted with the director and about his vision of the beards, mustaches, and the characters in general. Many people praise me. Aydos, we like the makeup you do. The beards look like real ones. When I hear such praise, inspiration appears. This is an experimental performance, a performance that was first held in a yurt.
Алғашқы не ғой, осындай перформанс дейді ғой, эксперименталдық спектакльдер. Күйгізей секілді ненің ішінде бірінші рет қойылып жатыр ғой. Номатити театры бар, Тұрсынбек Қабатов сол жерде басшы. Сол жерде балалар спектаклі Mowgli деген осындай масштабта бір алғашқы туынды.
The Nomad City Theater, led by Tursunbek Kabhatov, made an order for 13 masks for the play named Mowgli. We can say that this is the first performance of such a huge scale. I made masks for Sher Khan, Baloo, and the leaders of the pack of wolves. I tried so that they could be worn on the heads, and they looked realistic. They really liked these masks.
Сондай қызықты қылып барынша жасауға, шынайы қылдырып жасауға тырыстым. Жасап бердім, өздерінің көңілдеріне шықты. Ұнады. Astana Musical мен тоже енді көркемдік жетекшілермен.
I share my ideas with the heads of the Astana Musical Theater. For example, there is the musical King Kong. Why don't we stage such a show? It would be great to see this thing in Kazakhstan.
Өзіне ұнайтын дүниемен айналысып, сол арқылы энергиясын шығару керек. Сол арқылы еңбек атқару керек деп есептеймін. Кино саласында мысалға
Often, Kazakh film invites me to cooperate. I make special makeup for the actors. For example, I change their appearance with a scar. If we talk about plans, in the future, I would like to have my own team of about 15 to 20 people. One makes eyes, another costumes, the third is engaged in modeling. To educate, set up such a team is my dream.
командам болған болайын. Бақыттымын енді өзімнің сүйген өнеріммен, өзім жүрегім қалаған дүниемен.
A person should do what he loves, then he will share his energy. I consider myself happy because I do work that I like and it responds in my heart.
қатты бағаланса жақсы болар еді.
Aydos Esmaganbetov has also a cherished dream of opening a wax museum that would present, like the Madame Tussauds Museum, the sculptures of iconic personalities of Kazakhstan. Aydos hopes that this idea will be supported and translated into action. Then he, traveling with an exhibition, will be able to tell the whole world about Kazakhstan by means of hyperrealism.